Welcome to Incredibly Live. Yes. Welcome to the final episode of Incredibly, where we it doesn't get better than the shit we covered this week and we're covering tonight. I don't think there's any point in continuing on with what we do because it's not going to get any better than this. I'm your host, Joey, joined by my ever so lovely co-host, Uch.
What's happening, folks?
I need a ding button. I realize I don't have a ding button. I have like a buzzer, but I don't have a ding. Anyway, tonight we're covering Xmen 97 finale, Tolerance's Extinction Part 3. What a fucking episode, as we always say every week. But as always, I want to start with our Spider-Man update. How was Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Just so that I don't go into like a whole tangent and this turns into a Spider-Man episode. I really, really, really hope that people, if they haven't already, reconsider their stance on best live action Spider-Man. I really have like this ongoing and like evolving love for Andrew Garfield. And I think the thing that'll do it is if you watch his movies more and more, like just one Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, I think it'll hit you like it hit me. Because when I watched this 10 years ago for the first time, it did not hit me like it has now. For some reason, maturing, going through experiences in life, and being able to empathize and to like understand really what's going on and to like see all these things that are happening, I really was just like, dude, I can't believe people actually came out of their own asses and would try to like would try to talk smack on this dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not trying to go into it. The movie, seeing it in theaters again was awesome. I loved it. He is everything the title insinuates. He is amazing. He is more than that.
Well, I'm glad that you feel reinvigorated about Andrew and that you're pretty high up on him, because I know Crystal's also very high on
that's her favorite.
Yeah. I think it we can end it with this or shortly after this, but I think people are so high on Toby that coming down to anything different than what he was able to give was just like a shock to them, especially with the promise of a Spider-Man 4, then transitioning into a completely new Spider-Man was probably like shocking to a lot of people, and they just didn't want to accept it because how people are with change, right? But I'm so glad that he got his redemption in No Way Home. Definitely needed, and now everybody's on him. Now he's so over with the fans.
Yep.
Yeah, got a lot of good heat going on. Well, I'm glad it's going good. Did you get a poster?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I've been taking 2 so that I can give my extra one to my youngest brother, because when he goes off to college soon, which is, I feel old. I told him that like because like his mom never let him put up posters in his room, so it's just white walls. So he's like, dude, I'm gonna put all these up in my dorm. I'm like,
hell yeah.
So he's about to be decked out with literally all the Spider-Man movies.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
So yeah, I've been getting 2 each, and then on my way out, I saw there was one more, and I was like, do I want to be that guy? And I didn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I didn't take it, even though I really wanted to, because there's people that take the whole goddamn stack.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and then put it on Facebook Marketplace 5 minutes later. So
I still need to check that. And I did ask the manager, and dude, I hate my theater that hosts this, because she told me, she was like, because I asked her, I was like, yo, did you guys ever get the first movie poster? She was like, yeah, we did, but it was days after they showed the film. So then they just gave them away for free, obviously, like throughout the week. So whoever like was there, obviously got them.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I gotta
you
go
don't know what you don't know.
Please.
Yeah. Maybe one day Sony or Marvel put more out. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Who
But
knows? We'll see.
to get to the meat and potatoes of today, the finale of X-Men 97 aired today.
Okay.
Um, I was not prepared for this episode. I don't think anybody was, but we all knew it was coming. I'm not even going to go into a synopsis of it because it was just too much peak. Um, so, what are your instant reactions to today? People that already watched Uchi's video over on the YouTube channel can already know what to expect. But I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch. But what are you feeling coming off of this? And then we'll start there because there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack.
I guess I'll start with I'm surprised that we actually got some sort of like close.
Yeah,
Like we got some closure in a sense. Cause I thought that this was about to literally just be like they were gonna leave us with some tragic shit.
yeah.
Nothing was gonna get resolved.
There's a massive cliffhanger.
Right,
Well,
yeah,
I
like
mean,
I
really, we got 3 or 4 massive cliffhangers, but
yeah.
in a different way. It wasn't like because I think we were kind of speculating, like, I don't know, the Avengers were about to come in or some shit, and it was just going to open up this whole war
Mhm.
amongst the mutants and people. But it was a little bit more concise.
Yeah, like we because the thing I mean, I don't blame us or I don't blame anyone else that may have thought similarly
Hmm.
that like damn, like they're gonna need the Avengers to get involved in this because this Bastion dude is crazy, right? Like we set our expectations high, but even though we didn't get them directly involved, we got things that I don't even think anyone was, like you said, ready for.
Yeah.
Like we saw the reappearance of Cap in addition to Iron Man now.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
I was like,
A classic Iron Man too from
oh,
the oh
the
dude that
ugly
was like
yellow and
that
red.
was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, like that's the I always thought the that 90s animated suit of armor that then translates into like the sprite version in the Marvel vs. Capcom games of Iron Man. I was like,
It's so ugly. It's almost like they were trying to take, like, the spandex suit aesthetic and tie
yes,
it into a metal suit, and it just doesn't work.
it
Like, it
didn't
just
work at all.
however, I love it. It's
That
so good.
dude, that's why back in the day, I think like I don't know anyone that really fucked with Iron Man like that.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
it was a very
That's why he looked like that.
it was a rarity. Like I'm telling you, Robert Downey Jr. changed that character for the better.
For sure.
Like everybody loves and respects Iron Man way more because of RDJ,
Yeah.
not because of Iron Man from the comics,
Right.
because of RDJ. So we get
Definitely
Iron
not from the
Man.
animated series either.
Well, definitely not from the anime series. Definitely not. But you know, because everything that's happened since then, MCU, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Seeing Iron Man and X-Men is just like, oh shit, you know, a little bit of Avengers teasing.
Yeah, instant pop too.
But it's all the other characters and cameos that we saw, like Cloak and Dagger. I'm like,
Yes.
what?
Out of nowhere, oh, helping Daredevil of all people.
Bro, son. Oh, see, he was someone I was not expecting because I was like,
Whatsoever.
the whole time, I was like, where's Peter?
Yeah.
Where's Peter? Like I said, where's Peter in my reaction? I think at least twice. And then, of course, like we see him with MJ, and
Mhm.
I was so like, you
And
know,
Flash Thompson.
okay,
Flash came in
well,
behind them, yeah, but anyway.
there you go. Flash was in there, and I didn't even freaking peep that. But it just goes to show you there was a lot of cameos that were just thrown in there. And honestly, like you can't even say they're throwaways because there was so many different perspectives that they were trying to give from all around the world. And what
Yeah,
better way to do that than to showcase like, hey, what's happening here and there. And we saw Silver Samurai again,
we did.
you know.
And we saw Omega Red with his little faction going on.
Yeah.
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 I
So,
think this was a good way to really establish that X-Men 97 is not the MCU. X-Men 97 is the Marvel fucking universe, and it was
ooh,
everybody. It
hmm.
wasn't just the MCU-fied people because we saw T'Chaka, which people are a little upset about, right? But we saw T'Chaka as Black Panther. We saw fucking so many people. Cloak and Dagger, like you said, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange being a huge one, right?
My man was
Then
doing surgery.
he was literally in the middle of surgery with magic. Um, Morph turned into Mr. Fantastic. Fucking
Yes.
crazy. Morph's been on one in the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
We saw Peter and MJ, which was
Yep.
really, really cool.
Yep.
Daredevil, Cap and Iron Man. And then we saw Polaris with Quicksilver and Wanda
Yeah, and
with,
like that little like mental thingy
yeah.
thingy.
So
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, God, it's really showing you that this animated series is its own thing. It's the Marvel universe rather than just the MCU. And like, because I feels the MCU really feels like the Avenger verse, where everything is based around the
Yeah.
Avengers. This is the Marvel universe, which I really hope we get to play more in.
Yeah.
But if we don't, I am just glad that they were at least acknowledged in this show. You know.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, like they can do quite literally whatever they want with this show. And I mean, so far, I mean, as long as they keep hitting the same notes,
Yeah.
like if they follow the blueprint of what they did with this show and it continues, they can call it whatever they want. They
It's
could
fucking
literally be
money.
like, you know what I'm saying? But like the way you put it was honestly perfect because like I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the camp of saying that X-Men 97 should be considered a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but really it is Marvel.
Yeah.
Period, you know?
And
And
it's
honestly,
not just Avengers. It's
it's everything.
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's beautiful because what made the Spider-Man animated series so great is all of the crossovers that
Mhm.
that show had as well.
Yep.
Like this guy, I feel like you know how in Power Rangers had Monster of the Week.
Yes.
This dude had Team Up of the Week.
Right?
He had Punisher in there. He had Blade. Like all these characters that when I was watching this, like again for the first time in years, a couple years ago, I was just like, I don't remember any of this. And they have their own Spider Verse arc. Like,
They do, yeah. That's really like when Madam Web was established, like, was in the show, because I think she
correct,
was, like, in, like, 2 fucking episodes, 2 fucking issues of the comics, and, like, that was about
right?
it. But
Yeah,
the TV show really cemented her as, like, whatever you wanna call her,
yeah.
spider
Like
totem thing.
Madam Web is quite literally a higher entity that
Mhm.
plays that sort of a role in the, I guess, grander world of Spider-Man. And she's never had her own comic. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to talk about Madam Web. No,
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 it's okay, yeah,
no, no. I'm not
Madam
trying to do
Web,
that.
animated series Madam Web,
No.
goated. She's awesome. I love animated series Madam Web.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. Yep, that's all the Madam
yeah,
Web we'll talk about today.
yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot Psylocke, and
Psylocke, yep.
I don't know who North Star is. If I saw them, maybe, but I don't know them by name. But Psylocke, yeah, I definitely forgot to mention Psylocke.
Yeah, Psylocke was a huge pop because she's with her team, but I don't know what the name of that team is. Puck and Psylocke, uh, this person said Soviet super soldiers, Dark Star, Crimson Dynamo working with Omega Red as well. So,
Yeah, I
God,
mean, all
it's like,
around godlike.
yeah. I'm glad that that this was like the cameo fest, and it wasn't like a, it wasn't like a bad. It was, this was like how this was overbooked was how I was expecting Cody Roman to be overbooked.
Oh
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
and honestly, it was done just right.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Like I said, like these weren't throwaway cameo appearances. It was like they wanted to give you perspective on what
Yeah.
was happening around the globe, and then they did, and they just gave us certain characters from here, there, and everywhere, while going back and forth between the actual, things that were happening.
Yeah.
And another surprise that I will say, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us were kind of thrown off by this, is that it looked like they were really setting up for Onslaught, and we didn't get them.
We didn't get him, and I don't think we're gonna get him at all either, unless
Yeah,
that ends up being some kind of subplot after the events of what transpires. But
yeah,
it I think that was one of those because Bo had mentioned it in talking about the fight today with Bastion and Nightcrawler, where in the comics there's a scene where basically this fight that we watched in the anime, or in the anime, well, kind of in the, in the animated series,
Yeah.
happened where Bastion basically kills Nightcrawler in the comics, and it's like crazy, like he's bamfing all around, and he kind of just like puts his hand out and he's in it, and so it's one of those things where fans who know were
Yeah.
kind of like, oh my god, is he? Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? And it's kind of like almost like edging them on in that way. And so who knows? I mean, the plot's still there. It would be sick to see Onslaught in some way, but there's so many stories that we could get that
Oh my god,
regardless
yeah.
of what we get. I mean, what we're gonna get is some incredible shit. So I'm not worried about it. But whatever it is, I'm fucking ready. It just can't come soon enough. Like it literally can't come soon enough.
It
I think
can't.
they said um end before the end of or before winter 2025. I think season 2 is.
Oh my
So
god.
while that's
Winter
a, yeah,
2025.
while that's far ways away,
Talking about
there's
January?
yeah, right. Seriously, fucking February, January, please. Um,
Damn.
I would. Well, we got a lot in between for right now, anyway. So Deadpool and then the other animated series, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series,
Oh,
supposedly
is that
still
actually
coming
still coming
out.
out this year?
I don't know. I hope so. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it, but if it's not up to they really need to go back to the drawing board with everything that they're about to release and say, "Okay, if it doesn't meet 97 standards, you're out. Sorry. Bye." Like,
No,
please.
that's literally how it should be from
Yeah,
now until the end of
back to the drawing
time.
board. Yes, absolutely. I don't know what they were doing in that writer's room, but I know that they were looking like light fucking just
Yeah.
writing this shit out. So pen smoking and all. So let's dive into it a little bit. I guess we'll talk about I don't want to deep dive too deep into it just because there's so much to talk about. But I guess we talk about the main focus of the episode or the main things of the episode. So the first one being the fight with I guess the resolution to the Cable Jean Grey fight that we saw,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
takes place right after Blue Team. I think Blue Team was on the ground, Gold Team went up. Whatever team was on the ground going after Bastion. Um, we see the resurrection of the Phoenix coming back into Jean Grey's body to save Jean, take on basically Nathan. Well, I guess Nathan at that point was a little bit incapacitated, but basically Bastion and Sinister in that moment.
Yup.
With one of these like most insane um it wasn't evil, but when Jean pulls Sinister up and just starts pulling out all of the mutant DNA out of his body and you see him reverting,
Yup.
one of the sickest things I've ever seen in anything ever.
Yeah.
Like, so what of that fight, what did you think? Because that shit was crazy.
I thought it was godlike, man.
Yeah.
Like, like Phoenix has been teased for a while.
Every episode, Phoenix has been in the
Yeah.
intro. Yeah,
Yeah, of course. So, like I feel like they have at least delivered on the teases
for sure.
when you think about it, because Apocalypse was also shown off often in the
Yeah,
intro.
especially with all the Cable stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
And that was paid off clearly at the end, at the very end. We
in
even
two
got a
ways.
freaking mid-credit scene,
Yeah,
which is
literally the first
oh,
animated
oh,
mid-credit scene.
that was so sick. So yeah, so of course it's like, you know, that was an important part of what I would like to consider just a part of like the intro culture, I guess you can term it, because like intros, good intros at least, are supposed to give you some sort of idea of what you can expect for that season. It doesn't, and this
Right.
doesn't just apply for X-Men. It applies for just
Yeah,
about anything, like an
pretty much
anime
everything.
or
Yeah,
whatever. And they did a great job doing that, and they changed it up with like each one for the most part. And it made you pay attention. It made you watch it. It gave you a reason to not hit the skip button, even though I'm
yeah,
how
never.
can you skip that theme song?
There's
Okay, let's be
yeah,
real.
right.
Right?
Even
So,
without the shit in the intro, it's no skips.
yo, and honestly, like as much as I love the original X-Men theme, this version is like, I think it's the best one. It's the
I agree.
like it really gets you like
Yes.
revved up and ready. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's the pregame song for every sporting event ever
It
now.
should be.
Yeah.
It should be, bro. I'm telling you. Anyway, but as far as Phoenix is concerned, I thought it was fire. It was great to see her
Yeah.
again. Um, and like I'm not gonna lie. At my first watch, I was a little confused as to what she said when she was like, "Oh, like the Phoenix was always a part of me."
The Phoenix is gone, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean. I was a
When
little
she
bit
was saying
confused too.
all that, but then someone in my comments explained it, and then I understood it. So essentially, what she meant by that when she said that is like when the Phoenix took over her the first time, like they are essentially conjoined in some way. So
Okay.
even when you even when you take the Phoenix away from her or out of her or whatever, technically and truthfully, they're not actually like fully separated. Like
Right. The Phoenix will always be a part of her.
yeah, a part of the Phoenix will always stay within Jean, and Jean will always stay a part of the Phoenix, which is
Yes.
kind of crazy because it's like interchangeable at
Right.
that point. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome, bro. Like you can't not like the Phoenix, and this was
No.
a great appearance. So who knows? Like I
Yeah.
feel like Phoenix may just be one of those surprise factors that comes into play later on
Yeah.
in the future episode.
It's kind of like a very much so an anime when the protagonist is on its last limbs and he has to
Yes.
search deep, deep, deep down into
You
their
gotta
soul to
dig.
pull out the ultra instinct
Yep.
or
Exactly.
super ultra technique to pull through. So
Yep.
and the fact that Jean had to use the Phoenix to overcome this just goes to show how strong Bastion was at this point. Because this is like right after Bastion rips Cable's arm off and steals the future tech to basically become I don't know what he
Super
that
Bastion.
super Bastion, basically. Yeah.
Yup.
So whatever form that was sick with the wings and all.
Yeah, he looked crazy. I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah. I wish that I knew more about X-Men so I could have geeked
Same.
out more about that, but I know that that was pretty comics accurate was what had happened there. I don't know if in the comics Cable lost his arm like that, but who knows? It was fucking sick
Bro, he
regardless.
ripped his arm and beat him with it
He
before
slapped
he
him with it.
transformed. I'm like, that is
Fucking
so
what? In
disrespectful.
front of his mom.
Oh, it matters worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
His
funny.
mom and all of his friends.
Hmm.
Um Yeah, so crazy awesome fight, and I loved how they were able to tie the 2 teams together again. I was wondering how they were gonna end up making that happen, so it was really cool that that was basically the way that it all worked out. Um, so now gold team rules, whatever team, second team, Asteroid M team, they're up there dealing with, the aftermath of Charles and Magneto the entire time. They're basically both, like, in a vegetative state. They're, like, alive, but they're
Yeah.
both, dealing with this stuff inside of Magneto's mind, and this is honestly where I thought we were gonna see Onslaught appear, but it really just
Yeah.
ended up being this flashback scene, kind of like group therapy session for the two of them, where Magneto was working through a lot of his issues in order to kind of come back down. What did you make of like everything going on with Charles and Magneto? Because like it was as somebody who loves the action, we both love shonen, right? We love shonen and we love battle anime, battle manga, all that shit.
Of
So
course.
for X-Men to have these moments in between like the most intense shit that's going on where it just kind of comes down and it's just these two guys talking about each other's past. It was really like sombering or not sombering. It was really like I don't know how to completely explain how I'm feeling, but it like it just tonally it just changes completely, but it still has like the same effect where it's the two dudes mentally going at it, battling each other, trying to help each other, while on the outside, all this shit's going down. Like
Yeah.
what were you thinking in those moments? Because probably some of the best dialogue I've seen from a cartoon in a hot fucking minute.
Oh man. Yeah, like their interaction is so cool because at first when the episode starts, it's like, where the hell are they? Like I thought it was a
Right.
flashback scene, but
I
it
thought
turned
so too.
yeah, and it turns out it was just a part of this whole mental thing that they got going on, and like they were both like linked in that regard, and Charles was just trying to bring him back into remembering who he was. And I think this is like the anime moment that you're like referring to. And like even out of this, we see this like boat that has Rogue, it has Wanda, it has
Mm,
Pietro, aka Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver,
mhm, mhm.
and Polaris, who admittedly I didn't know was one of his kids. Apparently, he has a hella kids.
Me neither.
Apparently, Magneto has
He gets
mad
around.
babies.
Yeah, that checks out.
Okay,
He's old.
so I mean
He's been
he is
around.
old, but
Yeah.
either way, like that, it is whatever. The point is that they have been dropping these seeds all throughout season one. Like they have Morph turn into Quicksilver. They have images and other references to the Scarlet Witch.
Mhm.
This is like the first time we see them like in some sort of like moving motion, and then like they still don't even mention it, but like because it was a mental scene, the fact that they were there means that they are in some corner of his mind, but they still just did not mention it at all.
Right.
But fast forward past this scene, like towards the end, where there's like the billboard of all the mutants and allies, I guess, that they could have, because they're trying to essentially make a new X-Men
Oh,
team for season two.
that
It
Forge is looking for all the mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are on this list, and they are labeled as off world. What does that mean? What are they doing and where are they at?
Mhm.
These are things that we need to know. But I think because they keep like sprinkling them all across season one, I feel like they might have some involvement in season two, but I digress. The scene with Charles and Magneto, it was sick. It was so good.
It was beautiful.
I loved how like Charles really loves his relationship with Magnus, with Eric a lot. Like he cherishes it and it's important to him, even
Yes.
though they are constantly at odds with each other. And I mean, to each their own. They are justified in what they're trying to put belief in, to put support in, and whatnot. But I just thought it was so dope when he like took his time to really get him to remember and to bring him back. And it was so anime when he was like, "Your name is Eric Magnus Linkshire or whatever it is."
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And he's like, "But there's another name that the mutants and all of us recognize you by. What is that name, Eric?" And he goes, like, oh my god, like it was so cool. It was so cool, and the music, it matched it,
It was
and he just
perfect.
has this awakening, and
Boom,
he's
boom, boom,
back.
boom.
I
Yeah.
am Magneto. Oh god, it was so cool. It was so cool. Like literally in that moment, I wish I had the helmet. I would have fucking put that shit right on. I would have plopped it. Oh my god, I wish I had that, John,
It
bro.
literally does not get better than this shit. Like it doesn't get better than this.
Well, you say that, and then the ending
Yeah,
happens.
and then the ending happens. So let's talk about the ending. So, I guess we talk about one thing first is in great comic book hero X-Men fashion, we're at the end of the fight. Bastion is literally a being stomped by a sentinel, and they instead of killing him, Cyclops says, "At ease, basically drop your weapons. Like we need to save him. He's one of us. We can't do this." Um, I was amazed. I was ready to see them fucking clap Bastion's cheeks. I was ready to go. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Scott is still the product of Charles Xavier in this way, and Charles was still able to come through to him in this moment. So, as much as I wish that we would have got to see Bastion just get absolutely obliterated, which technically, I mean, he did die. He did die. We'll see. Who knows? Which I have a little bit of a theory
I
about.
don't know.
At the end of the day, Scott still followed Charles' way, and I think that was really big for him as a person, as a character, and really important for the whole team, especially after everything that had happened um, in the episodes prior, where Rogue basically went to go kill um, Trask. And Morph was like, "This is who we are now. Like, is this who we are now?" So to go from that X-Men to now in this episode where they spare Bastion, even though he's basically plotting the death of everyone, is really really cool.
Yeah.
And I love that duality that they were able to go back and between and forth. So, anything else on the rest of the episode before we talk about the end?
Well, yeah, so to add to that moment with Cyclops, like this show overall, thinking back in hindsight, you gotta give them so much props. Them as the directors, the
Yeah,
showrunners, everybody involved in
absolutely.
this, because they really gave us a perfect story.
I agree.
Like they gave us just enough to think, okay, this is where the story's going. This is the direction that these characters are going to go. They made us think in a certain way and they twisted it on us. And as a result, the ends was better than it just being predictable.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's what sets apart a good show and a fucking godlike show.
yeah,
When you as a fan are following along for the journey, for the ride, and you're playing along and you're trying to make your predictions and you're talking with other people, you're seeing speculation, you're watching all these rumor videos, speculation videos, theory videos, and nobody's right.
hmm
Bro, that's godlike. Like
that's when you
this is
know.
not just a one-to-one. They are adapting things from the comics, the source material, and they are telling us and giving us something new in a
Yeah,
way.
hmm
And it's so refreshing. It's like this otherworldly refreshing feeling that it's just like, wow. Like you said, I I that's what it seemed like. I mean, after everything that Bastion has done, and even the little teases that Cyclops was dropping, like, bro, it looked like they were also setting up for him to make his dark turn. Because
yes,
that's also something
absolutely.
that happens
Yeah,
to Cyclops, right? And but today was not that day. He really solidified himself as the leader. And that's what a good leader does. They don't just they don't just go quick for the kill. When there's a chance and a realization and a level of understanding, you have to explore all your options. And even if that was like a Professor X, like, imposed, like, that was his teachings or whatever,
yeah,
like, it was still on Cyclops at the end of the day to finalize and make that shit actually happen the way
yeah,
that it did. The
absolutely.
fact that and Storm, and they were all with it too. They were all with it. Now, I'm pretty sure that's why they kept Wolverine out of that scene. Because
Oh
he
yeah,
would
he would
have
have killed the
he would have
fuck out of
killed the
him.
fuck. He definitely would have got his ass. But
Yeah,
it was so good. Like
yeah.
like when that Blu-ray drops,
Ooh,
it's a day one pre-order. It's a
easy,
minute one pre-order.
easy. Um, what I love about this show is that it treats us, the viewers, as intelligent. It makes
Yes.
they treat us as if we know that they know that we know that they know, kind of thing. It makes
Uh-huh.
us feel like we are smart, and it rewards us for watching and paying attention. And I think that's one thing that a lot of shows just kind of don't really have anymore. Something like a Secret Invasion, for example, just to kind of compare apples to apples.
Yeah.
I guess apples to different kind of apples, but it was like it's still Marvel.
Yeah.
It most of their stuff does not treat us like we know. Like, it doesn't treat us like we're smart, like the viewer is smart. It kinda has to walk us through everything. It's like especially with something like the roadie reveal, it's like, "Okay, fucking thanks." Like, that was obvious. Like, we knew that shit. Where it's like with that, we knew things going into it and it never didn't pay off. But with something like X-Men 97, it's like, we may know everything that's gonna fucking happen in the comic. We may know everything that we're about to see. However, holy shit, when it comes to fruition and we know it and it happens, it feels good. It's rewarding. Like, it feels like all these years of us being comic fans and Marvel fans is finally paying off in these like few frames that we get to see. So I just hope that they can keep this momentum going to whatever the fuck they do next. I know Deadpool is going to absolutely cook. I literally have no doubt in my mind at this point that we're about to, it's this is the year, this is the Marvel Renaissance. That's
Oh,
that's how it feels.
and it's all thanks to the X-Men.
Yes, sir.
Simple. Fucking break it down.
All right, let's talk about the ending because there's a few things that happen at the end, a few things
Mm.
that happened, a few things that didn't happen. We'll talk about. I don't know what order they happened. I didn't write them down, but um, what happened first? Oh, so the first thing that happened is Magneto, Scott. No, Magneto, Charles, Beast, Storm, Rogue,
Yeah, I think. Oh wait, and I want it. A part of me wants to say Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. They showed up way 2,000 years ago in
It's
I
like
don't remember.
3,000.
Yeah. Was it 2?
3000 BC.
Yeah, in, back in the day when Apocalypse was just a young man, and now they are dealing with, what I believe the comic is called The Rise of Apocalypse back in that time. So, holy shit. One, that
Yup.
was the first thing that happened.
Yup.
Second thing that happened is, Scott and Jean end up 2,000, 3,000 years in the future.
Yup.
And get, intercepted by some future humans. I don't remember what her name was in
Was
Karis?
it Oksana? Something like
Oksana,
that?
something like that, yeah. Um, and then we hear a little boy say, "Don't worry, they're okay, don't worry about them," and she calls him by the name of Nathan. Holy shit. Scott and Jean have a moment. And
Godlike.
then we see Forge back on Earth, with his board of all the mutants that are either missing, presumed dead, or off planet, or he doesn't know where they are. And then our boy Bishop finally shows back up again for the first time since episode
Yeah.
3, willing to help out Forge with fighting the X-Men, forming a new X-Men X Factor, or whatever you want to call the new team that they're going to new X-Men, new mutants, back on Earth. Okay. 3 things that happen. A fourth thing happens mid-credit scene where Apocalypse is seen back in the ashes of Genosha picking up the Queen of Hearts card that we saw Gambit drop during his scene with Rogue. And now the unseen thing is that we don't know what happened to Morph and Wolverine. They're just
Right.
wherever, right? Whether that's they ended up with Scott and Jean, whether that's they ended up with Magneto and Charles, whether that's whatever happened to them, they're nowhere to be found. So now we have all these different scenarios, and now we don't have any X Men on Earth, really. I guess the only X Men on Earth we have would be Cable, but we don't know where Cable is. Cable's also presumed missing, so it's just Forge and Bishop. So this show set up for so fucking much to happen in the future that I don't think season 2 is going to be able to cut it at 10 episodes. Who
Ooh,
knows?
you make a great point.
Yeah, and I am okay with that if they need to add more episodes. Just know, Marvel, because we know you watch, Kevin.
Kevin.
um, I'm down for more. So what a fucking ending! And not only did we get all basically 4 or 5 different endings, we got all those cameos right at the end too, to set up basically the Marvel universe in
Yeah.
the animated universe. Um, so what are you thinking? Like, what do you think is the future for this shit? Because there's so many routes that they could go. Obviously, they have a few paths that they're choosing on going, but like, what are you thinking?
So the moment where the team gets like split up between the past and the future,
Hmm.
I feel like that was intentionally done,
Hmm.
clearly,
Yeah.
because the current and present apocalypse is there in Genosha, essentially about to recruit his 4 horsemen,
Yeah.
right? So the fact that he did that, or that's assuming he did it.
Right.
I don't know. We don't know if he put someone else up to do it, but let's just
Oh,
for.
can I give you my theory,
Okay, go
quick,
ahead.
about sending people back in time and forward in time?
Yeah.
Is that my theory is that when Bastion was killed, him being made of Nimrod, Master Mold, all that cybernetic shit, ended up creating some kind of time vortex shit where he died and then all of his parts spewed everybody across time.
Uh oh,
Because
interesting.
we didn't see him die. We saw him get sucked into the explosion or whatever that was about to happen
Yeah.
on Asteroid M. And that he is the reason that shit got flung forward and backwards. But that's just my theory, just because we didn't see him die on screen. You know how I am with that. So anyway, not
Well,
to
yeah,
derail you.
like yeah,
That's my
like
thinking.
that's the thing that this show has also done well is that another thing that Marvel, like the MCU, has failed to do is that they manage to find a way to preserve their villains. Like
Yes.
they don't
Thank
fully
God.
die. They don't
Yes.
like you know what I'm
It's
saying? They
about fucking time that we
yeah.
keep the villains around.
Yeah, because and that's what adds more stock to their overall characters is that
Yes.
like how long do they last? Do they get one shot? Do they,
Yeah.
like how
Even
what's the
Sinister's still
longevity?
alive,
Technically,
technically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he could still get
And
his mutant
Trask.
genes and stuff like that and like
Yeah.
fix himself up if he wants, yeah.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
But I feel like what we may be setting up for season 2, it's hard to say because I think what's a part of what's going to happen is that clearly they're going to be trying to set up some new team in the current time.
Mhm.
Do we know if it's going to be strong enough? Well, that's where I think they are going to have to pick up the phone and call up some off-world mutants
Mm,
and tell their asses to get back to fucking Earth
right.
because we're in deep shit and your daddy's not here. Okay? That's one thing. The other thing is I think season 2 will also not be full of teases like season 1 was. Season 1, we got a lot of teases
Yes, we did.
with a lot of cameo crossovers. I think season 2 is going to be the season where we will see action not out of just Morph playing
Yeah.
as these characters. The actual characters will be seen on screen, will be active, will get involved. And I think it's done in such a fantastic way because another point that I forgot to even mention prior to all this conversation is that at the beginning of this show, after the first episode, and definitely after the second one, we were both like, yo, I'm pretty sure they're setting us up to be acquainted without the main team.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
and we were under the impression that like, damn, like are they just gonna die or like what's gonna happen? You know, they're gonna get replaced in that way. And the
Right.
answer is not quite. And I was afraid of that because all of those characters, like I had mentioned, are very iconic. You can't just get rid of them.
They're
They
like
are
the X-Men.
yeah, like they
Yeah.
are they make up the fabric of what we all recognize the X-Men to be.
Yeah.
So um I I just think that how they did it was strategically, it was done so well because all they did was they pulled them apart and they purposefully put most of them in different points in time. So that's going to give whoever's left in the current time time to shine
Mm.
as well as
Yes.
giving opportunity to other folks other
agree.
heroes
Yep.
to come in and team up. Spider-Man, Avengers, Fantastic Four. Even Wakanda, bro. We had Wakanda, not just T'Chaka. Wakanda was there. The Dora Milaje was there. You saw them. Like, the possibilities are literally endless.
Yeah.
And I can't wait.
Yeah. I can't wait at all either. It's gonna be good. Whatever season 2 holds. I do hope that we get to see more mutants, like you said, and I know that we'll get that. Yeah. So we'll read Crystal's comment really fast because I know that this has got Uchi thinking. So the lady that we see on the future Earth is Lady Ascani, who is also known as Rachel Summers, who is Scott Summers' sister, because Scott has so many fucking siblings. It's insane.
It's hard to keep track. Not gonna lie. He got a lot of siblings and a lot of kids.
Yes.
From all these different timelines, apparently.
Yeah. So
Also, hi Neo, what's going on?
Thank you all for being here. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking insane. But like, I really hope that we get to see a new X-Men team on Earth develop, because then we'll basically, like, if we get, I'm sure they'll all come back to Earth eventually. But Scott and Jean doing their own thing, then the other core X-Men team doing their own thing. Morph, Wolverine, fucking who knows where the fuck they're gonna be, dealing probably with Silver Samurai and Omega Red and all that other shit that happens. Then we have this core team. So it'll be we have 4 different teams to play with in a big sandbox, where that just leads to more stories to be able to be told. I'm fucking about it.
That's literally how the comics go. They literally have
exactly.
this.
Yeah.
You read where you want.
X-Men, Uncanny X-Men,
X-Force, X-Factor, X-Nuts.
Yep. So I'm about it. I just really hope that we get to see some more Avengers. I would love an Avengers show. Maybe not Avengers, but a show that shows their escapades. I think there was like an older Avengers show. I never watched it.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch it either.
Yeah. But I know we had a Hulk show for a little bit. Captain America, Silver Surfer had one. So I really hope that this kind of lights a fire underneath Disney Marvel's ass.
The other thing that I should add is that I originally thought that season 2 we were gonna be setting up Avengers vs. X-Men. Yo,
you did.
We're not, and I'm okay with that.
If anything, it'll be Avengers with X-Men.
Yo, and that's the thing. They have that just goes to show you how much content and story they have, and they can tell before they even get to that. That's amazing.
They can go forever.
They could literally go forever.
Yeah.
but those seeds are planted though.
Yeah.
It'll happen maybe by season 3. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. Lots of good shit to come. Any final thoughts on this season? Maybe we could do like a season wrap up, or like a season overview next week or something, if we don't have anything else planned, because could be. I mean, I just watched it again with Sarah this past weekend. I'll probably end up watching it fucking again within the next 2 weeks anyway, because
I'm gonna see if they have it in Japanese. I'll start watching in Japanese.
Oh, there you go.
That's the tech. Yeah. When you think anything animated is fire, not even just animated, but like take a movie you like, put it in Japanese, see how it sounds. Bro, I watched Black Panther 1 in Japanese on the plane once.
I'm sure that's fucking crazy.
Wakanda forever! I was, that shit was crazy. It was sick. Telling you, this is tech. It's the tech.
All right. So any last thoughts on X-Men 97?
I need the release date for season 2.
Yep.
I need the merch line. Yep. I need the Nike collab. I need the Champion collab. I need all the X-Men 97 things. I also need, when Marvel Rivals comes out, I need all them fucking suits to be in that game.
Saying. Yeah. That's what I'm fucking saying.
Yeah.
I've been watching some gameplay of it. It looks fucking awesome. It's literally
so much fun.
It's just Marvel Overwatch, and I couldn't be happier. I'm so excited. Yeah.
100%.
I know.
That's easy content for here on my game channel, everywhere.
Yeah. Also, just because it's gonna be fun as shit. Like, I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
I just want to play.
Yeah, I just want to play. Yeah, for me, this show is the epitome of people who love the source material getting the keys to the kingdom to be able to make the fucking show.
Part.
and that's, I think we need to get back to that with a lot of these people who are developing scripts and who are the directors for this stuff. It's like, yeah, you can make a good movie, but like this goes beyond that. This is just so respectful. And it's like probably the adaptation, most perfect adaptation of any comic book story that I think we've ever seen. And I'm glad that we were alive and that we're old enough to experience it week to week, and not have to worry about fucking anything else because it was absolutely peak.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of X-Men '97 costumes. Oh, probably. The thing with how merchandising goes though is that we're not gonna see a lot of this stuff for like another year before we see like any of like the official costumes, toys, shirts, hats, whatever the fuck come out for
You
like a
don't
year or
know.
so.
If they're
Yeah.
smart, they'll be like, oh yeah, all that shit's out now.
Yeah, push it out right now, right?
Yeah.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah, I can't fucking wait, dude.
Me
It
neither.
can't come soon enough. I saw just a note. I'm sure you saw too that Bo and the team basically could play with any of the X-Men they want to except for Deadpool.
I saw that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
They told them nope.
Yep, the one character. But we got to see MJ and Spidey. So, yeah, and MJ or Spider-Man finally found MJ after all those years, 28 years later or
Yeah,
whatever it
I totally
was.
forgot
Yeah.
about that plot point. So when people were telling me, I'm like, okay. And
Yep,
then
I
I
forgot.
was like, oh, all
Yeah,
right.
I guess it was, like, right at the end. That was, like, the last thing they did. Yeah, but I mean, it's literally been 30 years.
And look at that. How cool is that? They had something pay off in this show from another show.
Yeah. Makes me hopeful that we'll get more if they were willing to do some shit like that. Oh, and Morph confessing his love for Wolverine. Yes.
Yeah, Bo confirmed
Yes.
that shit too.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Gotta love it. Got to love it.
I feel bad for Morph though, because
Yeah, that was
Logan
really
only
sad.
has Gene on the mind.
Literally. Gene, and now how the fuck do I get adamantium back in my body? How do I make this work again?
That's if he even wants that. Like there's
That's
dude,
true.
I'm telling you, there's so many things that can happen. Like for real.
Hello, Chuck. Thanks for
You're
joining. Um, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens after Logan gets the adamantium removed. I never like. I knew that it happened eventually, so I don't know where the story goes. So I think that's one of the things I'm most looking forward to for next season.
yeah.
Is seeing
Yeah.
how that goes because like now he's back to bone claws. Now he's fairly destructible. He'll reform. It'll be like how Deadpool reforms, just grow back the baby legs, basically. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I guess
So
we can save that for next week then,
yeah,
I suppose.
there's also a lot that we got to read.
Bro, you're telling me I'm trying I'm like I told you last week. I vow I'm going when the ashes rise or the from the ashes, that's what it's called. The from
Yeah,
the ashes line of X-Men comics that's starting this summer, I'm reading
yeah,
all
we're
of it.
hooked. We're in, locked in, seatbelt in. No, definitely watch the series. X-Men '97 is
Oh,
easily the greatest piece of media that Marvel has ever produced.
it's not just the greatest animated show. It's the greatest show period.
Yeah. It's like easily up there with Endgame, No Way Home as like the greatest thing that Marvel's ever put out.
That comment is
Like, I
low
think
key bait because I
it-
I haven't like no, to be honest, like I haven't seen a single person anywhere online question this show at all. Everyone has only ever said anything positive about this show. And
Yeah.
it's even more surprising when you find out people that aren't watching it because the way social media works, it seems like everybody's fucking watching that shit.
Yeah, it's true.
So if you
I
haven't,
think
you
we're
need
in a
to get
bubble.
on that shit
I
like
think we're in the
right
X-Men
now.
bubble.
Like for
But
real.
yeah, definitely watch 10 episodes. Episode 10 is actually the longest episode. It's like 47 minutes. Goddamn. Yeah,
Yo, 47.
goddamn 47. Yeah, it's easily the most worth it thing. My fiance, who is really not a big Marvel person, she goes and watches all the movies with me because she likes hanging out with me. Is like the whole reason she sees them.
Shout out to Sarah.
She last weekend we were at my buddy's house over the weekend, and I made him, his wife, and my other friend sit down. We watched it, the first two episodes, and they were all hooked. And Sarah, we got back. She's like, all right, we gotta fucking watch this right now. Like we gotta watch it. And so we got it. She's hooked. She loved it. And she did not love it as much as I loved it, obviously, because she was like, I don't know who half these fucking people are that are just showing
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
You
It's not
know?
gonna hit her the same.
Exactly. Where I'm glad that Crystal got to watch all of the MCU. And so when they showed up, she's like, "Oh, oh," because that's
Yes.
what I was fucking doing. Especially
Yes.
when Iron Man showed up, I was like, I like fucking slapped her. I was like, "This fucking Iron Man!" I was like, "Holy shit!" But she knew Daredevil, so she was hyped when Daredevil showed up, which was sick. So,
Bro, I think out of all the cameos, no, we gotta save it for next week. Like
all right,
the
yeah.
most hype cameo. That's a TikTok right there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Daredevil, easy.
Yeah, that
Easy.
emote. Yeah, that's her.
That was literally that was Sarah in the corner the whole time, and then I was just like,
You gotta, yo.
doing the
If you
fucking
haven't seen my
podcast.
reaction, you need to go see
Yeah,
it because
I think
I
what
kept
I
all
should
that
have
shit in
done,
there.
I should have fucking started doing reactions because I was fucking popping off in my seat. We could have like synced them up and had an incredibly reaction. Just go
Yeah, no. Honestly,
next time.
if since you guys live together, like y'all could literally do reactions and like y'all would be one of the couples on YouTube that
Yeah.
do it.
Especially because I pause and break down everything that's happening for her because she's like, "Who the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Oh, well, this is Magneto, and him and Charles
Word.
have this long." How about
Yeah.
that? Well, we want to play a game, but it's already 11:30.
Save it for next week.
Yeah, that's okay. Save it for next week. We got content.
This was the
clicks.
finale, you know, like it was.
Yeah.
We were bound to talk about it a lot. Had some comments as well. So I mean, we can answer that one right there.
You want to read it?
Yeah. So Chuck says, do you guys think they'd make a second season or what? I also was going to ask regarding Deadpool, do you think it'll save the MCU? If so, elaborate. All right. Chuck, let us catch you up real quick. All right? Respectfully.
Yeah.
All right? I'll put that out there.
Chuck.
So I want to preface this. Season 1 of X-Men 97 was so good. Prior to them even dropping the first episode, they already greenlit the second season.
Yes.
All right? And this is prior, okay? This is way before we even knew when the first episode was going to drop.
Yeah.
So the fact that the news of a second season came out during production of season 1 goes to show you how much faith and how much stock and belief and, you know, all that they have in this project, in this property. So to answer your question, yes, they're going to have a second season. Yes. Right? There it is. And then in regarding Deadpool, that is another yes. That Deadpool will be a part of the reason, much like with X-Men 97, as to how they will be saving the MCU. I say that in air quotes because I'm not a believer that it really needed to be saved. It just needed to wake the fuck up, okay? Because even though this last phase was phase 4, I guess, right? I don't even know what phase we're in.
Yeah, I think we're entering phase 5.
Yeah,
I don't
know.
Yeah.
Even though phase 4 is not even arguably because a vast majority of fans consider this among one of the weaker phases, even though that, whether it's true or not, there's still some heat in there. It's not as hot as, you know, some previous projects that we've had, but the facts are the facts.
Shang-Chi.
Marvel is Shang-Chi, right? Marvel has recognized their downsides, their down bads, and all of their fuck ups. Okay? They recognize all of the problems and they said, all right, enough's enough. What we're going to now do is initiate the X Factor, okay? And what's happening from here on out, and what's been happening, is not only are they going to pull back on trying to give us all these movies and all these shows, because again, it feels like homework, right?
Yep.
For a lot of people.
Which is good.
Which is good for people like us, but then for like casuals or whatever, for like the movie goers, for people that just kind of like strolling along by window shopping, like, oh, another Marvel thing, right? For them, the optics, it's like, like It's just not worth it, right? So what they're gonna do is they're gonna focus on the quality. They're gonna stick to characters and franchises that people actually give a shit about. Deadpool, Wolverine, the X-Men. They are all characters and properties that people care about. Hence why 97 blew the fuck up. Hence why Deadpool and Wolverine, which was formerly known as Deadpool 3, they were like sitting at the round table over there at Marvel Studios with Kevin Feige. They're like, wait a minute. Motherfuckers love Wolverine, don't they? Why don't we just call this Deadpool and Wolverine? He's right on the title. That's the only film. Listen to me. That is the only film that Marvel Studios is putting out this year. The only one. Okay? Don't look at Sony. They got Venom and whatever the fuck they want to do. But that's not MCU. Even though it is. But that's not MCU. Okay? You got to make sure you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. The only movie that they are putting out in 2024 is Deadpool Wolverine. You want to know why? Because it's going to fucking blow up the box office. There's going to be no box office. It's done. The MCU is good. Is in good hands. You can thank the fucking X-Men for that. Oh, it's done.
It's done.
End the show. We're out of here. Follow our socials.
I created a new screen for you for when you start going in.
I literally just saw it in the corner. I'm like, what the hell is my forehead doing on the goddamn screen?
Yeah, Chuck, in other words, yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome. There's
Yeah.
a lot of good things to come. First thing that's gonna come is gonna be Deadpool. It's gonna come and save Marvel. I will say this: Deadpool calls himself Marvel Jesus in the film, right? He literally could be, in a way, Deadpool could be in a way saving the Marvel universe, literally in the movie.
Yes.
So he could figuratively and literally be saving the Marvel universe with this movie. But X-Men already did that. So,
yo, you think you think Deadpool's gonna be like, he's like, I'm kind of mad that they didn't mention me in X-Men 97. That show was great.
absolutely.
That show would have been fire.
He's absolutely going to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
He's like, Hugh, how did you get so much screen time, but I didn't get any?
Yeah. And he's be like, what
are you talking
about? I can't wait. Dude, that movie, oh my God. That movie is going to be the best movie the entire year, bro.
Yeah. With that, and then Blade coming out with, they just actually announced a slate of, they announced what projects are coming out next year. Did I bookmark that? Am I smart enough to bookmark
Fantastic
that?
Four is one of those movies, which I have a lot of faith in.
Fantastic Four, Daredevil season 4, I guess season
Reborn,
1.
Daredevil Born Again, whatever it is.
Ironheart is officially coming out.
Is it? They're still going with it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Surprised. I thought they were cutting back on that one.
Yeah, so did I. I think it was going to be a movie and they made it a series. I think that's what happened. And so then we're getting Thunderbolts.
Yes.
4.
Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are the only two films I know that's definitely coming out next year.
And I think the Spider-Man TV show. I haven't heard fucking anything about it, but I'm fairly certain that's supposed to be coming out next year.
I can't wait for this year's San Diego Comic-Con because I know they're gonna announce some
it's gonna go
crazy shit.
Just even getting, like, if Deadpool Wolverine announces the cast of who's gonna be X-Men in the MCU, and then we get them at San Diego Comic-Con to announce whatever the new fucking movie is gonna be, I'm gonna go fucking ape shit at that announcement.
Nah, they're not. Don't worry about it, Chuck. Trust us.
I think that, like, they've lost enough money where they're not going to want to lose any more money. They're going to be like, okay, we got to make banger films again, regardless of whatever they wanted to make prior. It's going to literally be like, what is going to make us the most money? What is going to do the best? We need to put that out, prioritize that over all these other side projects. I think also the other thing was that there was a transitionary period when Bob Iger left Disney. and then I don't remember what the gentleman's name was that came in basically at the start of COVID and was like, "We need to pump out all these projects. We're doing all these shows, all these movies. Go, 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 go." And that's how we got like Loki, Winter Soldier, WandaVision. What other fucking shows came out?
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye. All those shows came out boom, 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 like right after
It
each
was like
other. And
every other 2 months. It was crazy.
it was insane. And it was just too much for Kevin Feige to keep up with because I don't know how much you guys know about Kevin Feige, but he's been basically like playing chess with each movie and was able to like basically be the mastermind behind everything and making sure everything flowed smoothly. It was good and it was ready to go. When and Moon Knight too. Yeah, I fucking forgot Moon Knight was in that shit. I fucking love
Moon
Moon Knight. Yeah.
I think he got a season 2 coming.
Oh, I
Not this
fucking hope
year.
so. Yeah.
And probably maybe next year, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
I would love to see I know we talked about it before, but with Blade having like a Moon Knight Suns team spawn out of that because
Yeah.
Wolverine's in Midnight Suns, believe it or not. That'd be fucking sick. But oh shit, I forgot where I was gonna go. Oh, so Kevin Feige basically plays chess with all the pieces and was making this massive story.
Yeah.
He ended up being spread too thin, was having to rely on other people to make the projects go the way they wanted to go. That
Right.
ended up not working out. Didn't really pan out too well for them. So now he's able to be back in that position again that he once was in, and I think we're really going to see a return to form for Marvel. Neo asked, "When do you think they'll introduce the one above all in the MCU?" What you got?
So the funny thing about this question is that while I'm working, I have the ability to listen to videos, and I've been
Mm,
listening to a lot of comics explained.
yes,
Okay.
good shit.
Shout out to Rob. All
Yep,
right.
shout out Rob.
Because this guy, I will admit, at first I told you, I'm like, yo, this dude, I don't know, something about him.
To be fair,
He,
he is a yapper.
yeah, oh, yeah. But you know what? If I go into it wanting to hear this shit, I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, you're fine, right?
Yes.
Anyways, beside the point, I was listening to him talking about the Beyonder, one above all, the one below, above whatever, right? Like
Yeah,
they're all
yeah,
over the place, right?
yeah.
And it got me thinking, I don't think that characters like that are going to do well in MCU settings
I agree.
just because of how complex they are. And thinking about how like some of my own family, like I always imagine like, okay, how would my brothers react to this type of character or this type of concept, right?
Yeah,
And if I think that they're just gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? Then it's probably not gonna work out for the vast majority of like casual fans that will go to see this, and then the movie ends up getting like review bombed because nobody gets what the fuck the Beyonder is, Molecule Man, all that
yeah.
shit.
Well, think about like Celestials and the Eternals, right?
Well, there you
Yeah,
go. Perfect example, right? Characters that are that surpass the surface of like godliness, but then above that and then beyond that, those types of characters, I think they should just play a very, 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 very subtle role
hmm
or just not involve them at all because I feel like those types of characters will end up getting watered down
I
for
agree.
the sake of the film or whatever they
Yeah.
get featured in, because even trying to understand what happens in the comic books that they even have their stories told,
Good luck.
you have to
Good fucking luck.
really zen in,
Yeah,
and you have to be like, what the fuck? Like, dude, the Beyonder exists in his own universe outside of the multiverse. Think about how big that is. It's one guy.
yeah.
He is everything.
Stan Lee, basically.
He has the Beyonder has the power to do anything.
Yeah.
How do you stop that?
You
Well,
don't.
you don't.
Yeah.
So
I think it in like animated it works. So think of like the Watcher. A character like that probably wouldn't work too well in the MCU. Whereas like the Watcher can play a very subtle role because he's been introduced and has had screen time, and you can kind of understand him and relate to him and kind of get his thing. Where a character like that, so like stay on the watch really fast. When we know about him, understand him, learn about him in What If, he appears in 97 in the background. We know what that means, and we have an understanding of it and are able to expect it and kind of get what's going on. You can't it's hard to do that in a movie where unless you have like a three-part series of these are who the fucking Eternals and Celestials are, this is all their shit. Okay, now they're gone forever except to make a cameo here and then. Right? It's like so hard to do that and to have the casual audience give a shit enough to care. Right? Like I think that's the biggest issue. So who knows? I would love to have him, but I think it would be too much.
No, seriously,
Too
like the
much.
original Secret Wars run, dude, if they try to do that, any slight version of like, because even hearing about it, and I still need to, and I read like a very small part of it myself. It's so confusing because it's just like Doom wants, like Doom has the power of like Galactus somehow, and then he's trying to like take the Molecule Man out or whatever. He's trying to
Mhm.
coerce something so that everybody, like, dude, I'm telling you, people shit on Eternals because the first thing, because they realize how strong they are, they see how strong they are, and then the first thing they think of, oh, then where were they during the Avengers?
Right.
They're gonna say the same thing about a character like Molecule Man, about a Beyonder, about the one above
And
all. Like,
I think people are gonna try to say the same shit about Fantastic Four, which if the speculation is right about it, is that it's gonna take place in a separate universe entirely.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how they solve that issue, where it's like they just literally didn't exist. Like they were so
yeah,
which I would be okay with if it becomes like we talked about the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse rather than
yeah,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
yeah. There's plenty to go
it's
around
gonna
and
be
talk
good.
about,
It's gonna be
but
good. Last another fucking half hour almost. Shout out Chuck. Thanks for hanging around, Chuck. Honesty. What's good, my dude? We're actually about to end here soon. So thanks for stopping in. Sorry that you're hopping in towards the end. But thanks for
yo,
being here.
I'm like low key wondering if we have to start around this time because that's when everyone starts pulling in,
That's what I'm
bro.
saying.
The late night,
That's what I'm
the late
saying.
night crawlers. Oh,
Oh,
ooh,
should be that'll be our fans, the late night
the
crawlers.
late night crawlers, bro. They
Yeah,
just they pull up towards the end. Maybe we just
they
gotta
do.
start later. Shit.
Right. Um. All right. Any final comments?
Listen, Marvel is like really hot right now, especially because of X-Men. I feel like the comic book industry is thriving. I haven't looked at any
Mhm.
numbers, so I don't
Yeah.
know exactly, but
If
like,
if Marvel's willing to drop like 4 different variants of X-Men and then like 6 different solo runs of characters, they gotta be doing pretty good.
dude, I, yeah, yeah. Like, as someone who last year on this channel, I would admit that I can't go to a comic book store because if I do, I will get sucked into trying to buy mad shit. And guess what happens? I fell into that trap.
Yep.
And now, with all the greatness that's happening, you combine that with my terrible habit of trying to pick up whatever I can find at a comic book store. Dude, it's bad. Like, it's so bad.
I
Like,
I remember when we first started doing this shit and you were like, "Joey,
don't
don't
do
do
it.
it." You're,
Yeah.
you're like, not worth it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And you were right. I have a small stack that I got of a bunch of turtle stuff. Like I got the Stranger Things Turtles one and a couple of
Oh,
Spider Verse
yeah.
Johns.
I think I might have some of those. I
Um,
think.
I had to stop. I was like, Sarah, I can't, I can't do it. It's gonna be so bad because I was dropping like $20 every Wednesday on just shit that's now sitting. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I
You didn't
can't
read it
do it.
yet?
I know I read everything I got,
Oh, well, it's not.
but
That's
yeah,
all right. It's worth
exactly.
it. You
I
got
just
you
have
got
it.
what you paid for.
I got it in a pile, so I need to get like a box. But
Yeah, you gotta get
I
the
I
box
just
now.
I know that come Tuesday, no, come When do you remember him? I think he got released recently. He was an NXT guy, and his thing was always "Come Tuesday" because we talk about next Tuesday. Anyway,
Oh,
um,
was it Von Wagner or some
it
shit?
was Von Wagner. Yes.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
what a fucking lucky ass guess. Wow, that's crazy.
Come this summer when all the fucking X-Men shit starts dropping, game over. I'm budgeting already.
I made so aside from the comic book stuff, guys. Since I know some of y'all are in here still. Before we wrap up, let us know like what kind of streams and like discussions or games you want us to do, because like we've been saying, like there's so much hype around Marvel right now. Like you have the comic books, you have X-Men 97 that obviously just finished, but then you have like, you know, upcoming films and projects. But then you have like Marvel Snap and Marvel Rivals, and Marvel vs.
Rivals
Capcom
especially.
Infinite is getting a fucking complete fan overhaul done. Like there
like a B
is
plus, like a Project M kind of shit.
well, I did say I hope they add characters to this, because if they do, they're gonna add X-Men characters in there.
Not to derail you, but yeah, fucking
no,
sick.
but so like my point is like, you know, we're open to suggestions and we're willing to definitely try stuff out, because and I will show this stream, because I showed my stream. Hold on.
Honestly, I like that topic. That sounds cool. Uchi took his headphones off, but I'd love to do that. The only issue is that there's so much that we don't know about that we would have to.
All right,
learn
listen,
about.
folks.
But it's definitely on the table.
I showed my stream this recently, and this is how serious I am when it comes to really diving in to all of these.
Yes.
To diving in on all this Marvel hype. Okay,
I'm be really over with tomorrow.
Like, dude,
Just kidding, not tomorrow.
X-Men Legends and Legends 2 is 2 players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's Ultimate Alliance. Like, there's just so much content to fuck around with and just have fun, to completely immerse ourselves in this world.
Yep.
And we just want to know what y'all want to see too, so that way all of us can have fun together. Because, like, look at that. Look, people, yo, honesty in the chat blowing up. Yo, X-Men Legends, see? Origins? Oh, I have that. I got it. It's not right
Origins
here, but
good.
I'm planning on playing that and the Deadpool game in June, leading into the movie in July.
Was there 2 Deadpool games or just the one?
Just the one.
That's a shame. That game was fun as shit.
It was mad short too. It was like 5 chapters.
Yeah, but when you got to slap the fuck out of Wolverine, that shit was hilarious.
I don't even remember that.
He's like trying to get him to wake up, like in the beginning.
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
I'd have to pull that out. I feel like I got it somewhere.
Comic book accuracy in movies, and if it affects the bottom line. That's a good one.
Yeah. So honestly, please come next Wednesday, because we'll be cooking. We got some games that we play, some trivia games that we play every now and then. We just didn't have time today because X-Men.
X-Men finale,
X-Men, yeah. So maybe we'll have an X-Men theme game next week. And I would love to, even if it was like you played on your end and then we both commentated the game that you're playing, and I could stream from here, or I could video ninja to you, vice versa. We could figure something out. So yeah,
shout out to the sub. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we do this every Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always right here on Incredibly. We put announcements out on all the socials, but if you follow us here, you'll probably see it here. I was doing my thumbnails based off of Uchi's reaction, so now I have to come up with other thumbnails that don't utilize you. So it'll be whatever topic we're talking about that week. Oh shit, dude, we are huge wrestling fans. So that's our other podcast that we haven't started yet, called whatever. We could call it like Ringsiders or something. I don't know. Ringsiders. We are massive wrestling fans. We actually were just at SmackDown last weekend.
Yep, we were
last Friday. That shit was great.
Yep. So, and then don't forget our TikTok. Our TikTok has seen some pretty nice growth over the last couple weeks.
We're almost at 5,500 followers. just
Oh shit.
from it trickling in. So
Good shit. Look
it's
at that.
good. Hopefully it doesn't get banned. I would
Well,
appreciate
don't
if it doesn't
say
get
that.
banned.
Gosh damn. What
No,
the fuck?
no, not the account, the fucking app. So
Oh, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So but we play games. That's generally what got us a lot of our fame, and then we've also got some tier lists and some other stuff too. So we are trying to do all the content, trying to have fun with it, and that's the main thing is have fun with it. So
Yeah.
if there's anything you'd like to see us talk about, discuss, play, please hit us up. Feel free
Hit
to
us up.
DM us on Twitter or our socials. Both of our tags are down below.
Is our
At
email in
Uchi
there
Gang.
too?
No, but it's incredibly show at gmail.com. I can put it. I think I
Put it
don't
in the
have it
link tree
linked.
if it's not in there. Let me see.
I'll
Yeah,
do it
it's
right now. No, that'll
yeah.
blow up my
Y'all can send us an email, a DM, whatever,
yes. Send us an
whatever.
email. Email us at PO Box.
Oh wow.
Not yet. Maybe one day. But yeah, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I guess we will have to do this later. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
It's late for both of us, but anyway, thanks for joining. Make sure to ring the bell, like the video, subscribe for more because we'll be back here with we'll see. Moz starts in like 2 weeks, so maybe we'll have some Moz discussion too, just because we're gonna watch it and that shit's great.
It's My
Maybe it,
Adventures with
yeah,
Superman
my
for those
Adventures
that
with
don't
Superman.
know.
Yeah, because it won't be as timely just because I think it's what I say was like Friday evening, Saturday morning, something like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, but thank you again, everybody, for being here. And
Yeah.
we will catch you all next week. Have a good night. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye
See
bye.
ya.
Olha só, preste atenção. É só catuca, tuca, 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 tuca.